What's going on, guys? Chase, Ghost Picks Against the Spread, ghostpicksats.com, coming to you for Monday, the 22nd of April. April is almost over. We're getting into May, getting into what's going to feel like true summertime, and that's uncomfortable. Anyway, I know it's weird. I'm wearing Bear stuff right now. It's baseball season. Usually you don't catch me in anything outside of Cub stuff most of the year, but especially during baseball season. But I decided to throw on some Bear stuff today. Very, very excited about today, guys. I've been up since early this morning going over a bunch of stuff, like I've been kind of prepping you guys for the podcast stuff. Had our finalized meeting last night, which is going to turn into a meeting here in about an hour once I get plays out, because we had some discussions about the name. The seventh inning stretch name, the name that I've had in the works for the better part of 2 years, because this has been something ongoing that I have been dying to do. Everybody that knows me, that's been following me for any length of time, that's been a customer of mine, or even if you've just been watching me for the last couple of months, you know that I am beyond an absolute baseball fanatic, a nut. It is my drug. It is my high. It is my everything. Besides my wife and kids, it is the single most important thing in this world to me. And obviously, I grew up as a player. I love the game more than anything. Injuries and stuff got in the way to prolong the career that I wanted through the collegiate years and see possibly where it went. But I felt like that was kind of a sign. It was meant to be. And then I started getting into like the scouting and coaching type of thing, where I wanted to go out there and start scouting and just using my knowledge and my skills to stay around the game and be within the game. But then I ended up having a family, or starting a family, and I realized that I did not want to be on the road for 10 months a year, not at this point in time. Not saying that it won't be something that I do in the future as my kids, grow up and start, not wanting to hang around dad anymore, and, kind of have their own lives that they're doing, where it makes it a little bit easier to travel, and even when they can travel with me. During some of the, the summer months and stuff like that. But it just wasn't in the cards. And then obviously my finance background and my background of sports knowledge in general brought me to doing this stuff in college. And then it just flourished into a full-time gig, something that I did after I sold my first company. Went to it full-time. And, decided that, the year of doing this 100% full-time and nothing else, like I said, sold my company, set aside some money that I had been doing this for, the better part of about 6 years at that point. And, I had the money to go out there and had the bankroll that I had been building. And I decided that I was going to dedicate the next 12 months to this with a full emphasis on baseball season. So I did nothing but travel around, go to ball games, and handicap and bet on games, and that's where I started to build a little following and yada, yada, yada. I'm rambling on, but I'm trying to give the new people that, maybe aren't familiar with me kind of how I got into this. And then with a few offers on the table, Jimmy and I crossed paths. We spent about a year just doing some work together, and he scouted me, and then, of course, here we are. Ghost Picks has been created, and we've been at it for a little over a year now. And it's absolutely changed our lives. We've changed the industry, and it couldn't be better. Very excited. But as this thing started, I knew that I wanted to not only be involved in sports, as my living, which I do, but I wanted to be able to put an emphasis on baseball, which I get to do all baseball season because of Ghost Picks. But I wanted to do something outside of Ghost Picks, outside of handicapping, outside of investing in sports, and just do, just be able to show my knowledge and my fandom for fans that doesn't necessarily have to do with money and things like that. That's just truly my expertise and my obsession and my fandom spilling out into the world for people that are like-minded like myself. So the podcast thing came up. It's been a long time coming, but it is done. It is edited. It is official. But the only thing was the name. There has been, and we found this out about 6 months ago, that there had been podcasts called the Seventh Inning Stretch before. One of them was actually non-sports related, which still to this day, I actually wasted 2 hours of my life listening to 2 of their episodes. Not only is it not baseball related, it's not sports related. So, I still don't understand the name based on their podcast, but their podcast has been inactive for a little over a year and a half. And then there was at one time a baseball podcast called the Seventh Inning Stretch, run by some either high school or college students, and it probably went on for 3 or 4 months. They were 15 to 16 minute segments, about twice a week. Cool little podcast, with some young guys, but again, it's inactive. It wasn't trademarked anything. So we were going through the trademark paperwork to actually own the name Seventh Inning Stretch based on the podcast in the media realm. And we basically went through and did a brainstorming meeting the other night and came up with a few more names that we had always had in the back of our mind. And what started that was a spinoff of what we're going to be doing for the Seventh Inning Stretch. It's going to be a 100% Chicago Cubs related podcast for all my Cubs diehards out there. So it'll be a big thing in the Chicagoland area and the Midwest. And then my partner's from Baltimore. He's a big Orioles fan, big Ravens fan. So we've got things that we're going to branch out on, things that are going to be umbrellaed under this media thing and under the Seventh Inning Stretch. So I had some names that I had kind of tucked away for a while that I thought may turn into spinoff podcast, related to baseball and teams. So we did a brainstorming session this weekend to go over if we thought that maybe we should change the name and not go with the Seventh Inning Stretch just because it's been out there before, even though we have every right to do so and can actually own that name. So we are going to finalize that tonight, make a final decision just to keep you guys abreast. But follow me on Twitter at PictureChase. Follow me here on YouTube because we will make the announcement as the podcast launches this week, and it is on platforms like Spotify and iTunes. So anyway, enough rambling on. Just wanted to give you guys that's what I've been doing this morning, along with going over games, and it's been a really exciting day. So before I hit the road this week and do some traveling, I just wanted to make you guys aware of what's been 2 years in the making. Very excited, a lot of time, a lot of effort, and I am beyond excited for this new chapter of my life to be able to begin for something that I'm so excited about. So anyway, let's do a recap of yesterday. Yesterday, Golden State lost it by a bucket. It was a premium play. It wasn't my premium card. It was the free play that I gave you, and we lost it by a bucket. I really thought we were going to have that there. They started to slow down pace of play just a little bit in the end, which I can't even say that I really disagree with because I think they knew they had them. They had the win, and I don't think that Golden State's out there to try to necessarily make a statement in this first series. Like I said, they're just trying to get out of it and get out of it as quickly as they can to see if they can have some downtime before they start the next round. But it was like, man, one bucket. At that point, I would have rather it been a nail biter down to the end, knowing that we were going to lose, instead of it taking it down literally into the buzzer, knowing that a bucket would have put us in the win column there. So that was kind of gut wrenching. But we also backed it up with the Boston Celtics -2.5. Some people got it at -3. Either way, that was our second premium play in the NBA. That was a winner. So we split in the NBA. So not terrible. NBA still going good. Like I said, one more bucket and we would have had another sweep day and a nice little 2-0 day in NBA yesterday. Now let's get into MLB. Like I said, I told everybody that Saturday was a bad day and that we were going to bounce back and come back with a vengeance on Sunday and even prove further as to what we do in that sport. So we had my Chicago Cubs +105. I was a little bit nervous with Chatwood going up and pitching his very first game of the year. That made me a little bit nervous, but what kind of eased my mind was the fact that the Cubs had taken a pretty severe beating on Saturday and getting completely shut out. Now, obviously, getting shut out with a less than dominating performance at the plate for all the batters, and what's been a very hot and productive offense this year. So I really like that. I trust in Chatwood. I like him. It was making me nervous that it was his first start, but it was good weather, not a lot of wind, perfect weather conditions for him, the way he pitches, and the crowd at Wrigley behind him, the loss, knowing that they could, they were trying to seal the deal in the series, just made it all the more worth it. Now, Pedro Strop going in the top of the ninth and giving up that home run to force the bottom of the ninth was just a knife in the heart. But then, of course, what do we have? We have the most electric player in all of baseball, my favorite player, my man crush, if you want to call it that, an absolute stud of a player, Javier Baez, goes out there. He sits there and gets past the first baseman. The outfielder fumbles the ball, lackluster. Javi reaches third base because he is an absolute unit that can run. Unbelievable player. So he reaches third. We get there. We got runners in the corners. We got no outs. And then what does David Bodie do in David Bodie fashion? The man whose first big league hit was a walk-off grand slam. He hits a nice single out there, and we cross the plate, win 2-1 with a walk-off in the bottom of the ninth. So a big win for the Chicago Cubs to win that series, and that was win number 1 on the day. We also had the Detroit Tigers on the money line, -110. Low money line, nice winner from start to finish. Then we had the Mets and the Cardinals over 8.5 runs, another nice easy winner. Then we had the Houston Astros. Now, one-sided game here. One-sided, or should have been. And what do? They go out there and blow the first inning again. They end up giving up 11 runs total to this team. And at that point, we had them on the run line. We certainly are not going to lay juice like that. So we had them on the run line minus $1.25. And they brought it all the way back and showed why they are the most dominant lineup in baseball by coming back, putting up 10 runs, having the bases loaded. One more base hit would have let them take the lead. And if they would have even, or let them tie the game, or even take the lead, had they done that and it would have gone into extra innings, I truly believe that they would have had every opportunity to win on the run line because their bats were on fire at that point, and Texas was in a downward spiral. But they did what they needed to do, and Texas ended up getting that third out. So the Houston Astros fall in what was a football scoring game for our only loss of the day. And then we had a top-tier play on the Washington Nationals. Easy win, blowout, not even close. So overall, a 4-1 day in MLB. That's what we're about. A 5-2 day overall with the loss to Golden State. So we'll take it. Another fantastic day in the MLB. We were very close to having another sweep day. So that's what we're going to be looking for today. The card today is a little bit less than intriguing. Not a lot of matchups that really spark my interest, but we have a good many games. They're all evening and night games. And we're going to go to the American League. We're going to be going with the American League matchup involving the Baltimore Orioles against the American League Central of the Chicago White Sox at Orioles Park in Camden Yards. And so let's go over what we got right here. We've got David Hess on the mound for the Orioles. And overall, he's got about a 5.5 ERA for the season. He's got right at a 5 ERA for his career. And even though the overall consensus is that the White Sox can't hit, that's actually not true. There's a lot to be desired there with their hitting. But they're hitting right-handers very well, and they're hitting right-handers that like to throw down and away very well, which is David Hess. So I believe that with right now, kind of what the White Sox have going on with the way their bats are producing, I think this is a perfect opportunity to attack this right-hander early and often. And if they do so and they can sustain a lead, then when the suspect bullpen of the Baltimore Orioles comes in, I think it could go on to be a rather comfortable victory by the White Sox. And the thing is, like I said, the White Sox are not a good team, but they have a better bullpen. I believe they have better hitting. And today, with the way the pitching is, I think that it slightly favors the White Sox. So that's why we're going to lay the money line with the White Sox. The line opened up originally yesterday at Baltimore favored -110, and it's already shifted, and we're getting -120 on the White Sox. We're going to lay the $1.20. I think it could go up as high as 130 to 135 by 7 o'clock tonight when the game starts. But we are going to lay $1.20. Sorry for the late video, but I also wanted to make an announcement that I have a $99 week going on. We all do. And guys, especially for me, this happens about once every 60 days that I'll release a $99 7-day package. It's half price. My weeks are $199. You can get it today and today only for $99. That'll be placed today through Sunday. So 7 days worth of plays. That's premium, top tier, all sports. basketball, hockey, baseball, whatever we have. The only thing that will not be included in that is if we have a red alert, which is a strong possibility for this week with the games and pitching matchups that we have coming in that I'm already diving into. So don't miss out on the $99 week. You will not be disappointed. And this is something, like I said, you get this opportunity about once every 45 to 60 days with me. So, it will be towards the middle of baseball season by the time this comes again. So don't miss out. Go to the website, ghostpicksats.com. You see the $99 package. Click on it. Choose the handicapper of your choice. Myself, Benny, Derek, Jimmy, Jack. Doesn't matter. Click on it. Pay for it. Get locked in for today's game and take care of you all the way through Sunday. We are going to take the Chicago White Sox. We're going to take a -120 over the Baltimore Orioles. Good luck. God bless. Grind on, guys.